Yes, guys, here we go again. We are now 1 week post Hyrox Bangkok, and as you can see, flags are collecting up there. So obviously the Hyrox Bangkok one is up there. But whilst I was away, we also had some guys competing in Hyrox Glasgow and also in Hyrox London, which was the EMEA or the European Championships, which one of our team got the #1 flag for a doubles effort, which is fabulous. And we've got a couple more flags, like I said, from Hyrox Glasgow. Whilst filming this, this is Monday. Over the weekend just gone, we had a couple of our guys out in Belgium as well. Happy to say that they both did very, very well individually, and then they teamed up and did a mixed doubles in which they got 3rd place, so they got a flag and threw on the podium there also. So a really good couple of weeks in terms of Hyrox racing. It's actually quite nice that there isn't one in the calendar now for a good few weeks. It gives everyone a chance to just knuckle down, focus on their training as they lead up to their next events, including myself, which the next Hyrox event is Cardiff. Now that is at the beginning of May, so that is 4 weeks this weekend. So my prep for that will start now. I've come off the back of Bangkok. I've gone into like a nice kind of relaxed recovery week. I did put some intensity through my body and into a training session on the Saturday just gone, which probably came a day too early. I did feel a little bit fatigued really. So yeah, we're going into a new block now. Unfortunately, I've picked up like a little knee niggle, so I'm just managing that. So this morning's session is going to be just all about the strength. I'm going to hit some deadlifts, I'm going to hit some dumbbell thrusters, or now maybe barbell thrusters, and I'm going to hit some split squats as well. With this little knee niggle, like flexion and extension or a squat pattern, squat movement doesn't really affect it. It's more just the impact, so like running with that continuous impact. Like rowing doesn't affect it, cycling doesn't affect it, so that's all fine. So I've just got to manage that with the running over the next, hopefully just few days, maybe a week, but we'll see as we progress forward this week. So yeah, next up is Hyrox Cardiff, and that is 4 weeks, so preparation for that starts right now. Morning guys, right, that is the Mykos triangle done, and it's a really, really good session. That kind of, it's very, very repetitive, or repeatable should I say. So you can do it, you know, once every 4, 5, 6 weeks or whatever, and you can see where your progress is coming in, or you can push yourself that little bit more by just getting 1 more calorie on one of the ergs. So the classic Mykos is an EMOM, it's row, ski, echo bike, and then rest, and you repeat that for 10 rounds. Today, I've put the bike erg in instead of the echo, which is kind of very, you see that quite a lot these days, putting the erg instead of the echo. For me today, I was hitting 18s on all the ergs. Like when I know I'm at my kind of peak level, I'm hitting 20s, not comfortably, but getting it done. Today, 18s did feel pretty comfortable, so proving I'm in a pretty good place at the moment. What I said to the team this morning, who also did that, is if you do what you've always done, you get what you've always got. So if you're coming into this session and you're repeating it at 10s all the time, then you're not showing any progress.
So by just going up that 1 calorie on each erg, which is easy to begin with, but gets very challenging towards the end. But if you go up by 1 calorie, when you finish the workout, that is an additional 30 calories that you have achieved. Now, if you were to sit on the bike, row or ski and just go on the calorie counter to 30, you'd see it takes a little while. So you've used that much more energy. So you're going to have improved. So it's a nice scalable workout to push yourself. Now, just a bit of education. A lot of the time we are working in meters on the erg monitors, but it is important, I feel like, if you're an aspiring athlete, to know what the other settings are as well. So if you take a look at that, you can see that we've got the calories there on the monitor. Now that big number through the middle, you can see it's increasing as I'm taking up the intensity. So that's basically the amount of calories the machine will produce in an hour if you stay at the current pace. Okay, so when you're going into a Mikos, it's important to know your numbers. So I knew today, if I wanted to hit 18 on all the ergs, that center number would have to hover around 1450, anywhere between 14 and 1500. And that would make me achieve the 18 calories, not gas myself out, and give me a little bit of time to get onto the next erg. So it's about education as well. It's about practice, but don't just stick to the meter setting. Have a little play on the calorie setting. When you're on the bike, have a little play on the watts setting, and just keep educating yourself and pushing yourself. Right guys, quick update of what I would eat after a session like that to refuel, to regenerate. So to get the carbohydrates in, I would go for these blueberries. I would also go for a banana. So not only is that going to replenish your carbohydrate and glycogen stores, it's also giving you a massive hit of vitamins and minerals. And like I've said before, bananas contain some really high potassium levels as well. So that helps to limit cramping and stuff like that. So some fruits. I've also got this yogurt, or it's a quark really, but it's 15 grams of protein in one of those. So I'll actually consume 2 of those. And yogurt also has some carbohydrates and sugars in it as well, and also obviously some like gut health bacteria and all that kind of stuff. So after a session like that, it's important to get the nutrients in pretty quickly. So that's what I would have after a session like I've just done.
Hello guys, so today's Wednesday. This little knee thing doesn't seem to be going away. I've had to just manage a couple of sessions over the last couple of days, just protecting it. I think everyone's in the same boat when they feel something which doesn't feel good. They kind of Google it or ChatGPT it just to try and get a diagnosis on things. So I've tried to stay away from that, resting it, banging a bit of ice on there. But I've got massage tomorrow, physio Friday. So I will go over it with the physio just to see if we can get any kind of diagnosis on it. A lot of the time people can get a little bit down in the dumps if they're picking up an injury, and it can affect them mentally, but I'm making sure that does not happen. It is triggering when any impact is made, so any kind of jumping, running of course, even a bit of walking actually, but I'm just making sure to get or substitute the running out for bike work. So anything running will be substituted for the bike, and that's how I'm getting around it. The bike feels absolutely fine, so I can push the pace on that and reap the rewards of some extra bike volume. So that's how I am looking at it. Talking of the bike, I'm about to hit a 90-minute effort where I've been trying to maintain a certain watt hold and just build my power output for the full duration of the 90 minutes. Just had a look at some of the previous workouts I've done, and the last one I did was 227 watts average for the 90 minutes. Now, time flies because that was on the 3rd of March and we're now 1st of April, so that was nearly a month ago that happened. Plus, we've raced in between, knee, niggle, so I'm not too sure how today will pan out. In my mind, I'm thinking 220. Let's see what 220 feels like, maybe just under. But yeah, over the course of the next kind of 12 weeks or 10 weeks now, as we lead up to World Champs, I will be looking to do this session once a week, just to really increase that power output for a long duration, like I said, 90 minutes. So that is the plan of action now. I joined in the class this morning with the Ace Gang. We did our intervals session, which was really good, led by Coach Tom. Always does a great job. That was a fab. All the vibes were always banging, always booming. So that was really good fun. Everyone was getting after it, and yeah, putting some good volume in there. It's been a busy morning, and busy, well, kind of ticking into the afternoon here at the gym. So I'm going to get this bike set done. That'll be Wednesday done. Just staying on top of the nutrition, on top of the hydration, and yeah, everything's going pretty well as long as we manage this niggle. But onwards and upwards. Let's see how we go right now. Yes, team, so that bike set that I've just done yesterday, the goal was to hit 220 watts because it was coming out of the Bangkok performance, bit of jet lag, bit of fatigue. After 10 minutes, I actually felt really, really good. I was easily holding like the average of 220. So I decided to put the foot down a little bit and increase it by 2 more watts compared to what I held last time I did that workout, which would mean I would hold 229 watts for the full 90 minutes. Now, because I'd held 220 for the first 10 or 11 minutes, there was just that slow build to push that average up. So that's how it works on the ergs, on the monitors. Your average is obviously taking the average of the duration that you're on the machine. So I was already behind 10 minutes, which means I had to hold about 235, 236 to slowly just build up the average to 230 or 229. When I hit around 229, 230, I thought, right, great, I'm okay here. So I decided to just go for the 229 for the full 90 minutes. I actually finished it at 230 watts. So a real good win in that scenario for me. The average heart of my average beats per minute was just creeping into zone 3, about 7 beats per minute higher than my zone 2 or top end of zone 2. So that's also a really, really good sign. It just shows with that consistency, that practice, going into the same session again and again and again, your body adapts and becomes more efficient at that certain session. Anyway, we've just done a bit of strength this morning. I've got a little bit more zone 2 on the bike again to do later. This weekend, it's all about the Centurion. So that is an event which I have organised, I've put together. It's a functional fitness race involving some running and all the rest of it. Your bike, echo bike, burpees, row, ski, wall balls, all the rest of it. So that's happening tomorrow, which is Good Friday. So you'll see plenty of the Centurion in a couple of seconds when I stop this bit and move into that bit. But it's a really good event, and yeah, we've got plenty of people down, so it should be a really competitive but fun and exciting Good Friday. Yes, guys, the Centurion, absolutely booming. Really good event, went really well. Everyone did really well, competed hard, raced well. So yeah, another good tick on the race schedule. So yeah, absolutely buzzing off that. So today we're now on Saturday, and we've arranged with a company called Endurance Peak to come to the gym to conduct VO2 and lactate threshold testing. So that will primarily be done on a treadmill. It has to be a motorized treadmill, so I've had to get one of them in just temporarily to conduct the tests. I've worked with the owner of Endurance Peak, called Stuart Fisher. I've worked with him a couple of times now. Top guy, got a lot of time and respect for him. Extremely knowledgeable, but very approachable, friendly, and very thorough with his work as well. So it's a pleasure to have him and his mate Josh here, who'll be doing the testing. I've actually just done mine this morning. Now, due to the niggle / knee condition that I've been experiencing lately, I couldn't actually do mine on the treadmill, so I've opted to use the bike instead. As I've explained, I've been doing quite a lot of bike work anyway. So last time I did the VO2, last time Endurance Peak were here, I did it on the bike, and I was a less conditioned cyclist then. They were here last, it was about 10 months ago. So I've done a lot more bike work since then, and the results spoke for themselves this morning. I was a little bit silly because I actually partook or did the Saturday Send class that we have here on a Saturday before the VO2 and lactate test, which is a little bit silly in hindsight. Shouldn't have done it, but just felt good this morning. So did the class, and then the guy showed up. I got on the bike, just started warming up, and he initially took my blood lactate levels, and said, "Look, I can tell you've done some training this morning. It shouldn't be at the level what it was at." So I kind of just thought, right, let's just run with it. Let's go through the test, and results will be what they are, considering what I've just done this morning. So the lactate threshold testing is, we start at a set amount of watts on the bike. Okay, so today mine was set at 125, and you hold that for 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes you increase by 25 watts, and every 3 minutes also you have to tell the tester what kind of level you are experiencing. So your RPE, which stands for the rate of perceived exertion. So that is how hard you're working, basically, on a scale of 1 to 20. And they also take a blood sample to take your lactate within the blood. So like I said, every 3 minutes increasing by 25 watts. You get to a level where, and then the tester says, right, this is going to be the last level where we're going to test your lactate, so your last 3 minute interval. It then increases to 60-second intervals, where again we increase the watts by 25, and now we're moving into your max effort, your max VO2 or your VO2 max. So we did that. I was on the bike for around, including the warm-up, just under an hour, and I actually saw during the VO2 425 watts. So I managed to hold 425 watts for 1 minute at the very end of the lactate threshold and VO2 max test, which is a really, really good result. It just proves how much I have improved on the bike as well, which is what I love. I love the data and the analysis and what it shows. And it spat me out a result of 63.2 in terms of my VO2 max. Now that is a increase compared to what we saw last time, an increase by over 1.5, I think, which is good. VO2 also has another contributor, which is your body weight. Now, I weighed in this morning at 81 kilos. Now, I never weigh myself, so I don't know where I've been over the past sort of couple of years in terms of weight. But the last time I weighed, this morning when I weighed 81, that's the lightest I've seen for a while. I've always hovered around 82, 83, maybe 84. So the lighter you are, the higher your VO2 will be, because you've got less tissue to feed, basically. So being 81 kilos would have been a contributor. But I believe the main factor in terms of why I saw an increased VO2 max, especially considering that I'd already done the class this morning, was the fact that I've been concentrating a lot more on the bike, building my aerobic base, building my aerobic capacity, working at threshold levels, and just training properly, training smartly. So really interesting. Got a couple of guys who are doing their tests now, and then all afternoon. And then that'll be another day done here at Ace Performance, and that will conclude yet another video. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.